It's the morning weather briefing. This is for Wednesday, the 27th of November, Thanksgiving Eve. I'm James Spann. Got some pretty big weather changes coming up. We might see a few strong storms tomorrow on Thanksgiving, and then the coldest air so far this season coming in here by Friday and the weekend. And we'll start to feel that tomorrow as temperatures fall during the day. So a lot of things to talk about this morning. Let's take a look at the upper air pattern this morning. Got a vortex over eastern Canada. Underneath that, we have a zonal flow, and it's a dry air mass this morning. So here's the radar composite. Big travel day today. And you can see most everybody looking good. The one airport that's got some issues today, Denver, where they've got some snow, but again, nothing out of the ordinary for Denver. The bigger snows have been off to the west in the mountains, but the other big airports look good. Dallas-Fort Worth, Chicago, Atlanta, New York, Boston, out in California, everything looks fine. So it's pretty chilly this morning. In fact, look at Gadsden. They're down to 32. They've got a freeze. Haleyville, 33. Jasper, 34. But a pretty good warm-up today. The sky partially sunny, will be in the 60s later this afternoon. We do note this morning there is a dense fog advisory for parts of central Alabama. The counties in gray on that map, kind of that zone from Demopolis to Montgomery to Auburn, Opelika, right around US 80. That will be dissipating by mid-morning. Otherwise, there's a look at the watch warning map around the nation. Again, for the travelers, you can see that it's pretty quiet. Got winter storm warnings in effect for the mountains of Colorado and Utah. Winter weather advisories for the city of Denver. So this is the severe weather outlook, and as you look at this map, understand this runs through 6 a.m. tomorrow. And this is for any storms that might form late tonight after midnight. And there's a very low-end marginal risk for parts of Mississippi and Alabama. And then after 6 a.m. tomorrow, there's a marginal risk. And again, we stress this is level 1 out of 5 for areas basically south of Interstate 59, the dark green on that map. And it's not a classic severe weather setup. I just don't think we have a big problem. But having said that, we'll take a look at the model data here in just a second and talk about the specific threats. And by the way, here's the larger view for tomorrow. That marginal risk runs from New Orleans all the way up to the Outer Banks of North Carolina. And again, throughout that zone, that's a level 1 out of level 5, in advance of a strong surface front. And then on day 3, which is Friday, might be some thunder across Florida, but no severe storms are expected. Rain for the next 7 days. Not much. Numbers have come down for Alabama tomorrow. Unfortunately, rain amounts will likely be a quarter inch or less in most spots, and we still need rain here. But it just looks like it's not going to be a big rain. So let's dive into the models. Model fans, the GFS. This is the 06C run, valid today at 4. Again, it's a zonal flow. A dry day, partly sunny. Highs in the 60s. Very seasonal for the end of November. So this is the high-res HRR model. HRR is HRRR, high-resolution rapid refresh. And again, we might see a few little spotty showers beginning to form across northwest Alabama. And we'll probably see showers forming during the night tonight. But let's jump ahead to tomorrow. And let me just say one thing. The GFS all of a sudden looks just like the European. The European's been right all along. The better chance of showers for the northern two-thirds of the state will be tomorrow morning. The afternoon looks dry. And that's what the European's been suggesting all along. And I will say, again, for those that are traveling tomorrow, note that surface low near Cape Cod, potential for a good snow for the interior parts of New England tomorrow. But let's focus on the weather down here. So let's look at 6 a.m. 6 o'clock tomorrow morning, getting that turkey in the oven. And you can see showers along the surface front, which is through North Alabama. And obviously, this does not look like a big rain event. Moisture is going to be somewhat limited. And really, the front already is through the Shoals and Huntsville at 6 o'clock tomorrow morning. And of course, the question is, can we see any severe storms along the front? So let's look at the severe weather parameters. Now, the instability values have gone up a little bit. This is the instability off the HRR. And again, this is 6 a.m. tomorrow. And you can pick out the front. Ahead of the front, you've got Cape values in some spots exceeding 1,000 joules. So the air is somewhat unstable ahead of the front, but the wind fields are certainly less than impressive. This is the SRH 0 to 1 kilometers, storm relative helicity, and pretty meager there. STP values come up to 1-2 units, but again, with the wind field somewhat limited, we're not overly impressed with the possibility of a tornado. But having said that, could there be a brief isolated tornado? Yes. The chance of a tornado is not zero, but it's pretty low based on these parameters. And this is noon tomorrow, and the front is already way down in southeast Alabama. And again, the Europeans been right all along. You know, the GFS depicted this big rainy day all day Thanksgiving. No. So again, at midday, maybe a few showers over southeast Alabama. The better wind dynamics are far, far out of here, so we're not really concerned about any tornado threat at that point. So again, in the morning, and again, we'll go back to 6 a.m. along that front. There will be showers around. There could be a rumble of thunder. And there might be a storm with gusty winds, maybe some small hail. And again, the chance of an isolated brief tornado, it's very low. Not zero, but very low. So we'll be watching trends. Now, here's one thing to point out. This is noon tomorrow. Temperatures go the wrong way. The front will be coming through early in the day, and as the day begins, temperatures over North Alabama will be in the 60s. But then at noon, you've got 40s for the Tennessee Valley. So just be aware, if you're over the northern half of the state, you're going to start off in the 60s, you'll come down through the 50s, you'll wind up in the 40s most likely tomorrow afternoon. However, if you're in Dothan, you'll be in the 70s at midday in advance of the front, so a big thermal contrast across the state at midday. But again, rain amounts light, so let's go to Friday. We're colder. Temperatures over the northern part of the state will likely stay in the 40s all day with a brisk north wind. This is Saturday as the weekend begins. We're cold and dry. We start the day below freezing. For the northern two-thirds of the state, the high Saturday upper 40s and low 50s. Again, for the Iron Bowl, mostly sunny. Kickoff temperature should be around 50, maybe upper 30s by the fourth quarter of that ball game, since the sun goes down so early now. Sunday, same thing. We're cold and dry. Monday, kind of a secondary surge of colder air comes in. Will be well below freezing. Most spots will see lows in the 20s. And pretty much the same situation on Tuesday. Lows in the 20s, highs upper 40s and low 50s. And again, there's still some chance we might see a few spots with temperatures in the upper teens for the colder pockets over North Alabama. Here's a week from today. This is Wednesday, December 4th. Northwest flow aloft, and once again, we're cold and dry. Highs coming back up in the 50s. Let's keep going. Let's go out 10 days. This is Friday of next week, December the 6th. And again, we have a northwest flow aloft. Evidence a little feature might bring a few isolated showers for the northern part of the state right at the end of next week, but moisture very limited and rain probably not meaningful. And it's pretty dry here for the next 15 days. This is rain coming off the European ensemble. The mean is about 1 inch, and that's it between now and the 12th of December. Temperatures off the NBM. This is for Birmingham. 65 today, 62 tomorrow. And understand that high tomorrow of 62, that's going to come during the morning, about 6 a.m. And temperatures will fall steadily during the day. And then you can see for Friday through Tuesday, the high right at 50 and lows below freezing. The colder mornings Monday and Tuesday with mid-20s. Numbers have come up a little bit, but still, that's the coldest air so far this season. Then highs getting back in the 50s for the end of next week. And the latest long-range guidance. This is for December 4th through December the 10th. And again, it's the same situation here. The pattern flipped from earlier in November. Now we have the blue in the east, the red in the west. Temperatures below average for the eastern U.S. Temperatures above average out west. Hey, beginning to look a lot like Christmas. The Huntsville Tinsel Trail at Big Spring Park, downtown Huntsville. Up and going here. As now we're getting into the Thanksgiving holiday weekend, you're going to see a lot of the Christmas traditions showing up, and that's certainly one of them. These were taken last night. One of the many attractions to see in the great state of Alabama. 'Tis the season. All right, so again, we're technically on a holiday schedule. I typically do one video today, but we'll crank out another video this afternoon about 2 o'clock or so, 1:30 or 2. And if you're new here, we do these typically twice a day, weekdays. In the morning about 5:15, in the afternoon about 2:45. We simulcast them live on my YouTube channel and my Facebook page. And typically during the holiday stretch, we just do one video per day. But again, today, because we might have some active weather tomorrow, we'll crank out another video about 1:30, 2 o'clock this afternoon. And I will be working tonight, so we invite you to watch us on television this evening, ABC 3340 News at 4, 5, 6, and 10 o'clock. Thanks for watching. Have a marvelous day. Be safe, and God bless.